Hey Tim, how are you?
I'm good for a Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy all of your new freedoms over the weekend?
No, I stayed home.
Yeah.
I am going to a party in real life on Saturday of next weekend though, so that's well, it should be super exciting, but yeah, I'm kind of getting a bit too used to staying home.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible, isn't it?
It is.
It's actually, when they talk about the new normal, it doesn't bother me so much now.
Me either. Great weekend at the auctions on Saturday. There were 319 auctions in Sydney. 77.9% preliminary clearance rate. Wow.
It is interesting, isn't it? It doesn't sound like in a market that is going down the tubes, does it?
Not really, but obviously those volumes are pretty tight. I think same week last year was 707 properties auction in Sydney. So, you know, the market, whilst there is a higher level of demand than supply, prices are going to hold strong.
Yeah, I think a lot of vendors might be listening to the doomsdayers, as I noticed that your word in your press release, and saying, look, I don't think I'll put my property on the market. But the reality of it is that they're actually getting good prices. So maybe into the future, and I've never been really good at predicting the future. Maybe in the future it's not going to be so great, but here and now looks pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of agents are telling me that they've got stock coming online for September, October. I certainly, if I was a vendor, I'd be looking at bringing that forward and putting it on now, because there is just such a shortage of properties to sell. Yeah. Anyway.
I think that's right. I think if it is going to change and if it's going to get bad, it'll get bad later on. I would have thought. And here and now, it's demonstrating strength. I'm with you. I think that vendors should be thinking about coming onto the market right now. Yeah,
absolutely. And it was good to see the hashtag #AusPropertyAlive being used over the weekend.
Yeah, it was. That was good to see. Yeah, and again, that just supported, in my view, what we were talking about with the data.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, we also heard from Terry Shear that question on landlord insurance has been going on and on now for weeks on end. So do you want to share what Terry Shear had to say today?
So it's come out today that Terry Shear will not be responding to claims when the landlord and the tenant come to an arrangement. So in other words, there is an agreed reduction in the rent. So we're really back to square one, where pre-COVID you had to go to the tribunal and get an order that said that you're owed all this money before you could look to claim on your landlord's insurance. And it looks like we're back to that now. So I sent it off to the Minister's office, sent it off to Fair Trading, and said, well, effectively we can't do any good faith negotiations now, because we will void our insurance if we do.
So let's just talk it through. I'm a landlord and you're my tenant. You were paying me $500 a week rent prior. I've agreed to drop it down to $300 a week for this period of time. If you leave and still don't pay me the $300, I can claim that $300, right? But I can't claim either the difference between $300 to $500, and I can't, if you leave not paying anything, I can't claim the original $500 a week.
Yeah, that's right? That's my the last bit I'd have to go and check on, but I'm about 90% sure you're right. But if you agree to drop it by $200, then you can't claim on your insurance. But if you say, look, I'm happy to do that, but I can't claim on my insurance, which I've been paying for 1,000 years, so I have to say no, and then we have to go to the tribunal, and we have to get the tribunal to make an order. And then you can walk out of there going, poor me, I've had to drop my rent by $200.
But it doesn't make any difference, because you're not going to be able to claim it on your insurance anyway, even if NCAT give you the order.
No, you can. Because it's been taken out of your hands.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, okay. There's your loss. So it's crystallised and it's been taken out of your hands. And therefore you can say to your insurer, well, I did my best, but that's what happened.
Oh, I understand. Okay, that's not good for NCAT. or for anybody really having to go through.
Well, that's right, and it's not good for. It's not going to be good for these good faith negotiations either.
No, absolutely.
I don't know what the other insurers are doing.
No, but we'll try and find that. Yeah, we'll try and find that out before Wednesday.
But I think I think the safest course to take would be to assume that they're the same, and that way.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you have been saying all along that you need to take the insurance company with you if you're going to do any negotiations at all. So that has proven to be very, very good advice. So media releases, what have we got going out this week?
So we're going to go and see if we can push for this $2,500. Now, I think we could make a very, very good argument prior to the insurance side of things, but I think that'll just go on to the arguments. Be encouraging. The Premier seems to like the idea of opening up the borders, so we're going to encourage her to look into Queensland and into Victoria and see what they're doing, because they're handing out $2,000 to their people, as is Tasmania as well, and I think Western Australia as well. So it's not like as if we're asking the Premier to go somewhere that nobody else has been. It's more of a catch up. And, you know, at the end of the day, the money that is sitting there has been earned by the property industry. So I think it's reasonable that we ask for some assistance. And, you know, and what you said to me, I think is 100% right as well. What's assisting the landlord is assisting the tenant.
Exactly.
So I think it all makes sense. But anyway, just because it makes sense, I regularly get disappointed.
Yeah, totally. The government just doesn't seem to understand that property investors are investors and they've been impacted by COVID just like everybody else. But anyway, all we can do is battle on, and that we will. We
will keep punching.
Yes, totally. Now we've got a webinar on Friday at 10 a.m. So it's a different time next Friday, 10 a.m. with Josh Fegan. So that is going to be one not to miss. Absolutely. And tell me, you're still at home. What's the back to work strategy? What are you kind of taking into consideration before you bring your people back into the office?
That's a really good question, because everyone's been saying that we're all going to be different, aren't we, going forward? So, so I've started in a different place than I think a lot of people have started in this question, and I've been gathering as much information from other people. In fact, I've just gotten off a call with all of my counterparts around the country and asking them that question. And the way I've approached it is to say to myself, what are we going to be doing in the office that would require people to be there in the office? So, so the best example I can give you is face-to-face training. Now, at some point, we're going to be back to offering face-to-face training as we do at the Institute in the office, in our training rooms. So clearly, to do that, we're going to need people in there to do that. But then you're saying to yourself, well, what are the other tasks in there, and do I really need to be in the office? So I can see us sort of hot desking is a possibility. I do think it's important that people nonetheless touch base with the office periodically, even if we were to continue working from home. But to be honest with you, right now, I think we'll probably continue to work from home for the foreseeable future. Our productivity hasn't dropped. If anything, it's actually probably improved because we haven't had that travel time and all of those sorts of things. So, I think it's going to be better for everybody, really.
Yeah, I agree. I've got no plans of going back to an office anytime soon either. So yeah, I don't really know when I don't know. I'm quite happy at home at the moment, as are my team. So we're just going to stay that way.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Anything else before we go?
No, I don't think so. I have to say I am looking forward to the Josh Fegan thing, though. So I think that's Josh is a real leader and influencer. So it's quite a coup for us to have been able to get him to come along and speak. So I'm sure people will be queuing to get in this. How you queue electronically, I'm not sure, but I'm sure that we will.
Absolutely, I agree. I'm looking forward to it too. So, all right, well, you have a good night and I will catch up with you on Wednesday.
We will. I look forward to it. Thank you.